What's going on, guys? All Blitzel here, back at it again with some more PTCGO content. Today we have Mimikyu VMAX with Radiant Eternatus. Mimikyu VMAX never really saw a whole lot of play after coming out, but its ominous numbers attack for 2 colorless energies lets us put 4 damage counters any way we like on our opponent's Pokemon, but if we play Acerola's Premonition, we can spread 13. So with Double Turbo we can do that for 1 energy, and it's pretty powerful. Like, we can take multiple prizes against Lost Box. Its second attack isn't anything too special. For 2 psychic, it does 120 and discard a card. Not anything too special, but it's okay. So we're going to try to get our Mimikyus out quickly with Radiant Eternatus. So we have Mew to help us get that play set up, Crobat for the draw, Drapion for a little extra bump into that Mew matchup, Zigzagoon to help us fix some math, Medicham can help us pull off some pretty sick plays where we can take multiple turns consecutively, and then that baby Mimikyu that does 10 damage for each damage counter on all opponent's Pokemon. So if we spread it a ton around, we can potentially just one-shot big V-Stars, which is pretty appealing. And then 1 Lumineon to find our Acerolas quickly. Acerola isn't a great supporter. Let us look at our opponent's hand and draw a card for each trainer they have there. It's quite good against Lost Box, and I will say that this deck has a very great Lost Box matchup. It's probably pretty poor into Lugia, but its Lost Box and Mew matchup are quite good. Like, this deck isn't going to be winning any tournament for you, but its matchup spread is kind of interesting. We have the 1 Marnie, 1 Boss, 1 Raihan. We have 4 Gears to get our supporters, 4 Shoes to make sure we get into the game, and 4 Nets to reset our Mews, reset Zigzagoon, 4 Quick Balls, 2 Ultra Ball to find our guys, 2 Switches to help us move in between some of our non-single prize Pokemon, 2 Heavy Balls to make sure our Eternatus isn't prized. Lotto is just to help us get our special energies very quickly. Pal Pad so we can use more than 4 Acerolas in a game. Vacuum is our only bump to path. A Seal Stone because we don't have a V-Star power, so we can just use this to find a card. Balloon for the pivot, and I'm playing 4-3-3 Energy Line. So after this there's going to be a few battles, so stay tuned for those, and please consider subscribing and checking out my Crown Zenith playlist below to catch up on any videos that you missed. And yeah, enjoy the battles. Alright, get into the first game here. We're going to be going first. A very good hand. We have the Radiant Eternatus right off the bat, so that's in the Double Turbo. So very good hand. We're against Ready. This is not a very great matchup. Press 2 Mew, so we can fish both of those out. So Mew is going to be pretty rough for us. Okay, we find the Seal Stone, which is nice. I'm just going to bench a Mew, and then Radiant Eternatus for 2 Mimikyu VMAXs. So yeah, very solid first turn for us. We have the Seal Stone, which can get us to the Acerola if we can't find it off like a Mew for gear. Alright, they're going to Shoe. Shoe again. Yeah, this match is definitely going to be pretty tough for us. They path us, which we don't necessarily mind too much. They capture down a Regieleki and then play Research. So they're off to a pretty solid start. What? They benched a second Regieleki. I am so confused. Why would you do that? Okay. Well, that is questionable. Well, alchemy for Acerola. Now let's see what they got in their hand. They have Drago, Rod, Vacuum. So I'm just gonna pivot out and use almost. I want to Mew again, so I can hopefully dig toward a Pokégear for next turn, so I can chain these Acerolas. Unfortunately, there's a Shoe. I'll just hold up with that. We'll net. Go back into our Mimikyu. Now, ominous numbers. I'm going to KO the Registeel because I already saw that Regidrago in their hand. So I'll just, if I KO the Regidrago, they just instantly redrop it. So I'm going to try to make it a little bit harder for them to set up next turn. But I can't believe they dropped it Regieleki. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Alright, we'll play an Ordinary Rod, so perhaps top deck to Research. No, Net was their top deck, wasn't it? Okay. So, +2 with the Dragon Sword. I'm okay with them playing the Net though, because they're playing Net just to draw cards, and they're not playing Net to pick up Regieleki, so I'm definitely not going to KO one of those. We top the Acerola, that is really good, and we shoe into an Acerola, so... Alright, they have... I'm going to attach a Psychic to the bench Mimikyu, and then Quick Ball out Mew, and grab Zigzagoon, get out of the deck, and then I will ominous numbers, and I'll knock out the active, so they can't keep dragons hoarding up their hand. So this little slow start from my opponent, and I can keep punishing the Regis over and over again. They promote one of the Regielekis again, not surprised. They have a quick ball, so they'll get the Regirock. And this is an unfortunate thing, we can't use Acerola. So hopefully this gear can find boss. It does not, so we can't play Acerola because they have no cards in hand. So I'm just going to ominous numbers, put 2 on the Regigigas, 1 on the Regi Ice and Drago. So we can set those up for a Max Shadow. They play a Rope, so we'll go into Radiant Eternatus. They'll be able to refill their hand up a little bit. So, yeah, would like to have been able to put some pressure on, but unfortunately wasn't able to. They Marnie S added 2 Acerola, so that's a bit annoying. But they didn't find any sort of pressure, so we're gonna Lotto. We find a Horror. Unfortunately, cannot find Acerola off of this. So I'll retreat and then use the Max Shadow. And we hit a boss, which isn't necessarily the worst card ever to hit. But they need Net and I think they need a Rod as well, right? Ace Arena. That's not a whole lot of cards, so wow, they ditched 3 Regis. Heavy Ball. That was good. Alright, so they need to have Quick Ball and Rod be Quick Ball and Net Rod be 3 of those cards. And nope, so they do concede that. It's a good game for us. Definitely don't know why they benched that Regieleki. That didn't make a whole lot of sense. Gonna be going first once again. Not the great. I mean, we opened Mimikyu with Mimikyu VMAX and the Acerola, so not exactly the worst hand ever. I'm gonna gear. I should have just quick balled out the net and not even play gear this turn. So I'm gonna quick ball. I should quick ball out the net. Grab Eternatus and just set up 2 Mimikyu VMAXs. I did prize 1 double turbo, which could be a bit annoying. So let's climb back to gate for 2 Mimikyus. Raikou makes us either be Vikavolt or Lost Zone Box. In Lost Zone Box, we could bully some Comfeys or some small HP Pokemon. Yep, it is Comfey, so this is Lost Zone Box. So it would be pretty funny, because we already have the Zigzagoon in hand, so we're just short double turbo. If we could take out like 2 Comfeys with an ominous numbers. Like I said in the intro, this actually is a really great Lost Zone Box matchup. I tested this deck today, and I didn't have my hopes too high, but I was really impressed. I still would never recommend playing this deck for a tournament, but it was a lot of fun, and definitely exceeded my expectations. I don't think you played much of a game at all into Lugia, and I don't know how you would fix that. Oh man, here we go. We just need a gear, so we just need a DC. So Acerola. We'll draw 4 cards, and we hit the 4 Seal Stone. That can get us double turbo and get us 2 knockouts. And considering how weak their hand was, that might just be the game. Their hand was incredibly weak. They need these flower selectings. So almost numbers. 6 on the active. So, and they already concede. Wow. Alright, on to our next game. That was funny. I definitely think this next Lost Zone Box matchup has to be one of the better ones I've played in a while. Alright, we win the flip once again. 3 flips in a row, that's... opening Lumineon, I guess. Not a spectacular hand. But we do have a quick ball for Radiant Eternatus, and Acerola to follow that up in double turbo, so I guess this hand's actually quite good. Just never really want to open Lumineon ever. Metal Psychic deck box, so it always makes you think Mew right off the bat. Manaphy, so probably not Mew. So we'll quick ball out the gear, get that Radiant E-turn, and set up double Mimikyu. I'm still not completely sold on the baby Mimikyu and the Medicham. I do want to mess with paths in this deck, because I feel like that could be a way to get tempo into the Palkia matchup if you can get him to miss turn. Not Palkia, Lugia matchup. So definitely could be something to consider. This is Lost Zone Box, so we can bully some Comfeys on the second turn. Once again, we have everything already aside from the Goon, so we'll go back into the Radiant Eternatus. We already have that balloon. It's a good thing we did not attach that balloon to the active, otherwise we'd be in sort of a weird spot. We did hold, so that was a pretty good play for us. I have 1 flower selecting. Attach the capture. That might find a Kramer. It does. So, flower selecting Colress, so we are going to get spit into. A rope would be sort of annoying because I don't really want them to spit into this Lumineon, but they will discard. And they bounce on Mazenta. Okay, so I will play my Acerola. Only 3 trainers. We did it a Seal Stone. I'm gonna Seal Stone for the Zigzagoon. I just want these 2 prizes. Make it hard for them to respond with a big Zamazenta. We have to be careful in this matchup with them playing Drapion, because our Mimikyu is oddly weak to Dark. So if we can make it hard for them to be able to pull off Mirage Gate play, that's a double gate to attack with Drapion. I don't know why Mimikyu is not weak to Metal. I guess this is treating Mimikyu as a Ghost type instead of a Fairy type. Kind of confusing now that Fairies are Psychic. I really hope they do bring Fairy types back. It's kind of weird that they... Like, so far, Dragon and Fairy are still missing in Scarlet and Violet. I'm pretty excited about a lot of the new cards. I think Skeledirge is going to be really, really cool with Armor Rouge from Scarlet Violet and Magma Base it, and then Cheryl. Should be a pretty fun deck. I don't think it'll be Tier 1 or ultra competitive, but I do think it will be pretty fun. So Acerola, 1, 2, 3, wow, 5? That's pretty good. Or shoot, I'll hold the Quick Ball. Quick Ball out Mew, grab a Mimikyu V. I'd like to Lotto for a Horror or a Psychic or something. Okay, I'm going to grab the Horror, put on that Mimikyu VMAX, and just Ominous Numbers, and put 130 on the Zamazenta and take the knockout. We did see that Zamazenta in hand, but at least we force them to load up a new one. And they can't just Raihan attach. We have like Marnie Max Shadow next turn, which could be a pretty strong play for us. So they have a new Zamazenta, they just need to find a couple Mirage Gates. Unfortunately, I hope they bench on our Comface so we could potentially Ominous Numbers for a couple prizes, but I find that pretty unlikely. They will Mirage Gate, so you have to imagine this Mimikyu is going down. Yes, it will. Conceal cards. So playing Lightning stuff as well. Switch card. And it'll Retaliate to take out the Mimikyu VMAX. Alright, so we'll probably Eternatus. I'm then just going to Trekking Shoe, out of Net, Heavy Ball, which will fail. I think we're then just going to... I want to Marnie them, but even if I miss, I'm feeling kind of a weird spot. I want to just hit... I think we just Acerola just for the cards here. I don't really want to... It's not 1 gate, no net, only 1 net there. I really want to hit the Horror to attack with. I'm sure they're loaded with trainer cards. So we hit the Horror. I'll retreat, eventually their Mimikyu, use that dummy doll. We'll pad back in double Acerola, and then we'll Quick Ball out Mew, grab another Mew. We can grab the other Mimikyu's a little better, I think. We'll Shoe, don't need Pokégear. And we'll then, I'm just gonna Max Shadow. I don't want to take a knockout. Sort of my idea here was, I Max Shadow, they hit me back for 100, and the next turn I try to take a big multi-prize play with... Alright, I'm just going to try to take all 3 of my prizes with 1 big Ominous Numbers play. Because I don't... Or potentially even just Marnie Max Shadow next turn. Or just Ominous Numbers with... I think Ominous Numbers with the fresh Mimikyu is probably going to be my play, but they do Roxanus. So that's a bit annoying. There goes that big play we had planned. Not a great hand. But if they do hit us, they knock out their own Zamazenta. So they might just retreat then to deny the prize, but then they're spreading damage around on their other guys. So I feel like it's a win-win for us. They play Mirage Gate, Retaliate, so they'll knock themselves out. So that's pretty good for us. We'll take our prize. Raihan is not going to be super useful. So we cannot Max Shadow this. Alright, I'm going to attach it to the Mimikyu V. Crobat was a great top deck. Alright, and I'm going to Boss's Orders and Gust the Zamazenta and Max Shadow it. Because Retaliate specifies if something was knocked out on my last turn, and the Horror Energy counts as in between turns. So this Retaliate will only be doing 100. We can basically just make it so this Zamazenta can't attack. We hit a Mirage Gate. Now, I don't think he can really attack us. Like, now we can just essentially Ominous Numbers to clean up this game. We just need to find that. Find an Acerola. Hard Retreat is so good for us. The split sort of makes it awkward. We kind of need to find a... I guess we probably match. Find the other Mimikyu. Switch into the Eternatus. And then Marnie, I guess. They conceded. I don't know why they did that. I definitely feel like they still had a shot to win that game. It sometimes baffles me why people concede like that. Like, it's not like you're in a tournament where you need to save time. It's just ladder. Like, I don't know. This hand's not very good. No outs to the Eternatus immediately. Horn? Oh no, is this Durant? Oh dear. Wow, this could be interesting. 3 mulligans get us our hand significantly improved. We can quick ball out the Raihan. Or a gear, doesn't it? I should have definitely been Raihan. Since I prized Mimikyu and I have one in hand, I'll just find the Mimikyu V, use that dummy doll, attach the double turbo, and pass. So, we need to find some way to pivot this Medicham, or in solid shape to ominous numbers on our turn. Double curse shovel. There's a peony. It's gonna be pretty hard for them to attack. Double VIP pass. So they're just taking the L this turn, and we're gonna just reset with that Sunny Bloom. VIP for Durant, and VIP for probably other Durant, and a cast form or a Mulga, whatever for. No, they must have a Durant prized. Say Sunny Bloom for 4. Okay, I'm gonna gear to thin the deck. Grab another Acerola. Acerola, hit 2. We found another double turbo, so we can retreat this Medicham in ominous numbers. We can knock out the active, and then put 20 on. My spread my damage counter is out a little bit. I'll put 20 on the cast form, and then 20 on a Durant. So if they are playing Scoop Up Net, I don't just get it all cleared in one go. So that's great. Find another double turbo, so even if they try to just strand our Medicham, we still can move it around. There's a heavy ball that will find the other Durant that they were prized. Yep. Let's get back to the Ant. We're in solid shape to take a knockout here, or take a double knockout. So there's a twin on the Durant and Bruno for 7. Definitely would not like to get Yell Horned. Ah, dang it. There it is. We need to find a switch. And there's a Devourer. So I'll attach the energy. I'll hit 4 off that, and we found a switch, so we can retreat, manually retreat off the one Psychic into the Medicham, and then switch, and then ominous numbers for take 2 prize knockout here. I will Ultra Ball out the Drapion and Eternatus. We can thin out the Zigzagoon. I also use it to set up our math a little bit. I don't necessarily think I needed to drop that, but it's all good. Means it doesn't get milled, so it's safe in our hand. Alright, so we take 2 prizes here. Seal Stone and a Horror Psychic Energy. Seal Stone's a great card to have because it means we have guaranteed switch out that we can just sort of stock and play and not have to worry about finding it later. So the Carrier, I don't think they should be rebenching that cast form. It's just a lot easier for me to knock out than a Durant. Now if we find a Scoop Up Net, we can take 2 prizes. So the Seal Stone can give us net. So Serena Gust the Medicham. Quick Ball. We just need to find that Acerola. There's a Pikamuku. Definitely been fortunate not to mill a ton of Acerolas from our deck. Could have maybe gone for a Lumineon to stop one in my hand, but they did mill an Air Balloon, which is sort of annoying. Crobat gear into an Acerola, that's great. So Acerola, that's 3 cards for us. Pal Pad's a great find, so I will Alchemy for a net. Checking the deck, we have the Boss Orders and we have another Acerola. So retreat, net up the Zigzagoon, and ominous numbers for 2 prizes. I sort of have my opponent in a tough situation here. We have the Pal Pad and Lumineon in hand, so we can just find our Mimikyu or get our Acerola to pull off our ominous numbers play to take our final prize. And even if they do confuse us, our deck is thin enough that we can get pretty close to finding our one switch, I always can just manually retreat back into a Mew, and that can get us pretty close. We have Lumineon, we have Bat, so we definitely will have 4 cards in the middle. As long as our switch doesn't get milled, they'll net be active. Probably for a Yellhorn play, yeah. Salpini, and I'll probably find like Yell Tower. No, Rose Tower, Yellhorn, not Yell Tower. Oh dear. So there's the Rose Tower, +3. Curse Shovel, that will not matter at this point in the game, and then they'll Devour. So as long as they don't mill our switch, which they did not, we should be able to win this one this turn. So we'll start things off with a quick ball out a Mew and find a Mew. We see that so we have 12 cards that we need to get through this turn. So bench the Lumineon and find the Acerola. So then we'll play the Acerola. That gives us 2 cards. So we can guarantee it here with, and we drew it anyway. So let's retreat back into Mew, switch, and then Ominous Numbers, and that will be a good game. Just gotta put them all on the cast farm, doesn't matter where the rest of these go. And yeah, that was some good battles. Alright, well thank you guys for watching. This has been Mimikyu VMAX with Radiant Eternatus. Definitely a very fun deck, but not the most competitive deck, but it's a Lost Box matchup, as I mentioned a couple times in the video, is pretty convincing. It was pretty consistent in the games that I played. I wouldn't really change anything. You can sort of mess around with the Mimikyu and Medicham. Those could be like 2 Paths to the Peak, or some stadiums, or like other draw supporters. Could be interesting cards to add. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, please leave them below, and please consider subscribing. We're trying to get to that 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And when I'm recording this, we're very close to 100 subscribers, so if you could help me get to 100 at least, that would make my day. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one.